Johns County Solid Waste District meeting to order at 2 p.m. on July 13th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Susie Quells.
Here.
Ron West.
Present.
David Lexi. Brian Baird.
Present.
John Ditmars. Mark Myers.
Present.
Kevin Walls.
Present.
So we have a quorum.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the May 11th, 2026 and May 27th, 2026 special meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 11th minutes and the May 27th special meeting minutes.
Second. Okay, got a motion and a second. Any discussion? I guess not. So everyone in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Treasurer's report.
You have the check register from the period May 9th through July 13th. With the total amount being $99,513.12. General fund being $50,265.46, and the bond being $49,247.66. And if you look at just the separate sheet that says general ledger, both account ID 2010 and 2011, you will see the payments made out from the bond fund. We did finalize the construction costs with Run-A-Bond Construction. And then, of course, the other large check was for the UTV. So,
Any questions?
I even hate to bring it up. But I'm going to one more time. I don't know who's doing the accounting, but their debits and credits are just backwards of what they should be. I don't understand. Who's doing this? This accounting firm, that CPS firm? CPA?
Ron, these are generated reports from our Peachtree, or excuse me, what was Peachtree, what is now Sage Accounting. The good thing is, and I was going to save this for my director's report so that you could give us a whoop whoop. But we are switching accounting software. So the one thing I said was above all other, make sure it balances and it doesn't say a negative if there's a positive. So we are going to be switching to a software that will not do that. But I even made a point of bolding the positive, didn't include a negative in it, but I had to manually go in and do that under the general ledger. But our new financial software will not do that.
If you look on your ledger here, the third entry down, $151,572.94 was a debit, right? And then you go over your balance, it's showing $151,572.94 as a balance. So that, yeah, I'm glad to hear you're changing your software. That'll be good. And I'll quit complaining.
Promise?
About that.
It's going to happen. For everybody to note.
All right, thanks, Jesse.
Okay. You want to make a motion with that, Ron?
I'd be happy to. I move.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second for the treasurer's report. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carries. All right. CAC committee, 6-month overview. Mark's gonna come up and give us all.
Okay, I am Mark Appleton. I'm on the CAC board. And I was chosen as the representative to bring you all up to date. We've been meeting monthly, and we will be meeting at the end of this month to prepare the budget for the upcoming year, as per required. The CAC has been supporting a shredding event periodically that has become most popular. Our next one is on August the 27th, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And if you have some extra time and want to come and help with the logistics of that, the first half hour of that is like almost a nightmare with traffic. Because everybody thinks 4 to 6, I got to be there at 4. The rest of the evening is pretty easy, but if you have an extra minute or two and want to drop by that evening and help us with traffic flow, that'd be great.
I'd love to, but I'll be busy with the financials.
Yeah, that's good. We are creating a team to work with Plume, and Plume seems to be blossoming here in the county, and so we're kind of excited about that happening as well. We do appreciate our new facility, and we're hearing a lot from the community that they also appreciate what we have and how easy it is now to pull in. They get everything out of your car and you move on. It's just a real smooth operation now. So we're very grateful that we have what we have. So that's all I have.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, director's report.
Well, on that note about Bloom blossoming, we are really excited. It has gotten great coverage, and we have seen a wonderful response for it being a first year initiative. So we have just over 100 people signed up for our teams, which is awesome. We, of course, one day hope to be as good as Boone County, who had 700, but they've been doing this for quite some time now. So we will take our win with 100. We are hoping that we will see when schools get in. It's our intention to obviously reach out to those schools and see. We already know of one school that definitely wants to participate. So we're sure we'll see those numbers grow. It's just that obviously they're not in class right now. So the good thing is, though, which has been awesome, as of Friday, we had 4 $500 sponsors, 1 $250 sponsor, and 1 $100 sponsor. But as of today, we just got another $500 sponsor. So we have 5 $500 sponsors. So that will go a long way in, of course, providing for the t-shirts, but it is our hope going forward that we can help to supplement being able to provide the opportunity throughout the year, besides those 3 days, to be able to give people the tools that they need if they are working as a group to pick up. Because during those 3 days, of course, we will not be providing any of that because we just will not, we don't have enough of it. And so this is predominantly for the t-shirts. But we have received so many good positive questions, so many businesses reaching out and, saying they want to participate and be a part and how can they help. And that's really what a lot of this was about, right? Sharing the opportunity, but also saying, hey, you have 3 days, let's get out there and help our community as a whole. So again, we're pretty excited. We're happy with the response we've seen. We just hope to continue to grow it. It's just our first year. So
Yeah, Jesse, has Festival Country contributed anything to that?
they have not.
They'd be a good source. They got plenty of money.
Well, we have reached out to all of them. And so Carla actually did an amazing job. Not only did we, go through the different channels with the chambers, and honestly, I will say, when we put our information in Franklin Chamber, that is really where we got our best response from. It really took off from there. And then Carla also went kind of door to door to the communities, so to Bargersville, places that maybe didn't have an MS4 that was in there that could help with the information. So, they should be aware. So we would be happy to have them. But, as much as we want sponsors, and we do, I do not want to say we don't, we would love the teams even more. So I would love Festival Country. I would love the different parks departments and the communities to sign up, because really that's what this is about, right? It's about trying to take ownership in our communities on a regular basis together, so that people can see what really happens when we work together. So that's what we would hope to see. I think I mentioned, as it's grown from Lebanon to Boone County, many groups have been able to use it as a way to help with their, with their health insurance. So it's an hour of volunteering because you're out picking up, you're doing manual labor. So they promoted that as a way to use that against their insurance. And so one of the companies that we've talked to, that's what they're doing with their group. I will say Malarkey Roofing is a perfect example. Right now they're like, we have 10 people, next year we're going to have 300, so what 300 people could do, across the county is awesome. And they've already committed it. So, if we can get more of that, if we can get the Endress Housers or the different groups that already are doing amazing things in our community, because they reach out to us, they call us, but to understand that, hey, we're trying to do this annually on 3 days, and if you can't do the 3 days, that's fine. Do it in September, do it in October. We can still use that. And we actually met with United Way as well. And we're trying to come up with some ways that maybe we can partner and then also help them. So part of this, as we said, obviously clean up the tire collection on the Saturday, but it's also to become a clearinghouse for kind of some of the sustainable initiatives that go on. So, they have their day of caring, which a lot of that is, picking up and helping, people that can't otherwise do the work themselves. So we said, if we get those phone calls, or if we know you have a need of 15 people, let us help and say, this is happening in September. Can you help? You said you had an interest. You said you wanted to do more. Can you help? Maybe you didn't know that this was happening. So we would like to be able to do that as much as continue down this path of the cleanup. So there we are. I will skip to the financial software to say that yes, we do have a new financial advisor, as you all know. And so in speaking with them, they actually don't even utilize Sage because, as it's been pointed out a few times, it is not necessarily governmental software. It is more accounting software. And so we are switching to governmental software. We have already spoken to the group that handles the township software and said, hey, we're a special district. We're not a township. Can you work with us? And they said, yes, it's very reasonable. It's $1,700 a year. Much better than, the 10, 15, 20,000 that we were initially quoted when actually Pat started down this path a few years ago. So we are happy to do that. As soon as this board meeting is over, we're going to start transitioning. I did say there's no way we're going to do it before we have everything together for our 6 months. Plus, we are still in the middle of being audited. And so the new Nikki would prefer we wait until that audit is complete to ensure that all the numbers are correct, which we know it is, but just to transition cleanly with a brand new audit being done. So we're good to go. So that will start taking effect. I mean, literally by September, I imagine I should be showing you some different reports when I come to the meeting. So
I'd be interested to see what the difference is between government software and standard software.
Well, I can tell you one of the biggest differences is that there are things that we would like to be able to provide you that I have to go in and switch over to Excel to actually provide it to you so that you can see it in a way that makes more sense to how we bring it in, we voucher it, and we spend it. Because that's not the way these softwares work. I use this very loosely, but we are basically like a checking account. You take the bill in, you account for the bill, you pay the bill. That is not the way many of these softwares work, which is why we actually show you our bond fund in a number format. And although it is set up as a fund as far as State Board of Accounts goes, we have to manually go in and figure out the spending and transfer over those dollars, because in order for us to create the funds, it would cost us, again, that $15,000, $20,000 a year, and it would still be a negative. So we're gonna move forward, know that we're gonna be able to have, funds available to us, and that it would be presented to you in such a way that is exactly how you would see in other operations across the government. So, and then our 2027 budget, we would normally be presenting that to you at this time. Unfortunately, we have not really received any clear direction from the county council on what we are supposed to do. I did speak to President Commissioner Walls about this, and we had decided that our best course of action was probably to wait until the meeting tonight and then move forward with the budget after that. So I don't know if you are all familiar as well that there is a new budgeting system for State Board of Accounts. It's very interesting as a special district. who I'm sure the auditor is sick and tired of hearing from me because she unfortunately has to do things just to give me access to my budget. It was one thing when they used to have to just submit it, but I'm not even able to fill out the most basic of information or get to work with State Board of Accounts without her permission. So it's been a lot. And unfortunately, a few of us, even when she's trying to grant permission, it's not going through. So we are all working through it together. But it will be a process, but I'm sure that process will be done by September 1st, like it's supposed to be. So that's kind of all I have, but I will certainly keep you abreast of all of that. So.
Any questions for Jessica?
I just wanted you to know, I'm not trying to go to sleep. I'm shielding my eyes. These lights are so bright.
Absolutely fine. I did not think that was.
Otherwise, I'm like this. Thank you, Jesse.
You are welcome.
And the much anticipated legal report from Ms. Lynn Gray.
With your tongue firmly planted in your cheek. Correct. As you know from your review of your May minutes, you'll recall that you approved the substitution of Franklin Peters as our new controller at the request of Angela. She, much to what we're talking about with software, that's a different bailiwick, and governmental accounting is not what she is used to doing. So that transition has occurred and it's gone very well. One of the things though that Nikki determined, you also remember we had bond counsel when we had the bond, which was Indianapolis, Barnes and Thornburg. One of the things that Nikki immediately discovered that needed to be done that had not been done was the annual disclosure from bond proceeds that has to be done. I had to educate myself on this. That has to be done through the Municipal Securities Rulemaking Board that operates the Electronic Municipal Marketing Access. Basically what that is saying, when our bond is spent, there is a report that must be filed on, similar to what a gateway would be for the rest of us, so that anybody that has our bonds can go in and find it. That report was due in 2024, it was also due in 2025 on June. It had not been done, and rather than run into penalties, I told Nikki, do it. Our board meeting isn't until July, but let's do it so we don't have any penalties. So she did that. And both of those reports have been done. As a result of that, which is a little bit beyond what our normal accounting is, she has submitted an invoice for $5,000. It's $2,500 per year. So that was for year 24 and that was for year 25. There is not that much money in her accounting, in our accounting budget. I would prefer not to pay it myself since I told her to do it for the benefit of the board, but there is money in your discretionary fund that has not been used at all. And I would ask for your guidance and or approval to utilize that to pay for that required reporting that hasn't back been filed. So we are current on that. Then Jessie said she could, for future years, since we'll have to do it in 26 and 27, she could just build that into the accounting budget for future years that would have it. So I have the invoice here and it has been done in accordance with what the requirements are. So I suppose, frankly, we could probably take it out of the bond proceeds, but I didn't want to pay bond counsel $6,000 to tell me I could pay $5,000 out of the bond proceeds. And I thought maybe since it's coming out of one pocket or the other, and we have a discretionary fund, that might be better, but I will do whatever it is that you request of me to do.
I would entertain a motion on that.
We'll make a motion that we get pay the bill with the discretionary fund.
I'll second that.
A motion then a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. No discussion on that.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I have nothing further, sir. But the transition has gone nicely. Thank you.
Good find. So we didn't get hammered in the end.
Well, Nikki was all over it and so was Jessie. We did it.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll consider that old business. How's that?
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
New business. We'll go, Mr. Harrison. You don't look like Mr. Harrison, but you can represent him today.
Yes. So long story short, if you should have just, and again, this is just a general quote, but also some information that was presented by Joe Gill Plumbing and some of the specs about our water quality or as it pertains to water hardness. I don't want to get not quality as but basically, long story short, we have had some severe hard water issues. And so we're calling in a plumber to say, hey, how much would a basic system be so that we could talk to the board about this? And as he came in, he said, well, I need to actually see your whole system. And when he looked at the whole system, he immediately stopped and basically said, you have a water heated system. It actually has specs that tells you where your water needs to be. And I can tell you right now, it's not there, but here's the information and here's where you can find where Franklin's water hardness is versus what the specs are for your piece of equipment. And he even, he did not charge us. He said no charge. And he even wrote the information to kind of tell us about, say, it needs to protect the boiler system. Basically, you need a water softener. So Wes had actually asked us if we could just get a basic quote from anyone, which of course Culligan is right around the corner, to get an idea of cost for the system. And so you should have an idea of cost. And then also, the reason behind that with your paperwork. I will say, obviously, there is bond fund money, but we also have money in our budget to cover this. So when we were really looking for something, it was mainly, our office kitchen, everything is, you could clean it every hour and it's just speckled. That's where this started. It wasn't until he came in and told us, you're not really, you need something more, that it became a bigger concern. So that's why it's in front of you. And that's also why Wes was involved, because we wanted him to look at the specs and see what was written. So.
Was it hard water or rush?
Hard water, very, very, very hard water. Yeah.
And how does that impact our boiler system? Is that what it is?
Because it runs water through the.
It'll cause scale on your boiler system as the heat.
Yeah.
But the hardness is not fantastic, but it's not astronomical, just so you know.
Well, we just took what American Water is saying versus what the specs on the equipment is saying.
Right.
So that's, yeah.
Yeah, but the equipment is,
Because this is for our heated floor, these are for the heated
the
floors. so.
specs on the equipment are gonna be much lower than what specs are for the building as far as the other assets in the building, such as faucets, toilets. That boiler is gonna require more softness than other things will. So the reason it's being said it's really hard is only because of the boiler specs. As far as water going into that building is not that hard in comparison to a normal house or anything else.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's any greater. No, I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're basically what they're doing is they're softening it for the boiler system. The rest of the building's probably okay. You don't drink that water, do you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not worried about the hard water. I'm worried about soft water. Where are you getting your water from?
we use we have one of those water refill
Yeah.
stations. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're fine then.
Yeah.
Because that's filtered.
Yeah.
It's not a bad price. The
It
quote
was
she's
a
got,
bad
it's not a bad price.
I'm gonna lean on your expertise because this is what you've done for a living for the last 50 years, so
And
I would take it.
Culligan's a good system.
Mhm.
They do a good job.
But do you think it's needed and warranted in here in this situation? That's what,
If it's a boiler system in what they're using the boiler system for, yes, I think it needs to probably have the hardness taken out of it. If we were just talking about faucets and urinals and toilet, I probably wouldn't worry about it a whole lot or wouldn't go with that size of a unit. But with that boiler system, it's good to get it out.
Correct. And I will, again, what we were initially looking at was like, hey, if we go buy a $500 system, and he looked at everything and that's where we ended.
Yeah, the cost I'm seeing, the labor's a little high, but they're making a little bit back on the cost of their softener because the cost of their softener is pretty good.
yeah.
So they're getting back a little of that in labor, but that's normal in the
And he was also talking about copper being through the roof and
It is.
Yes.
And there's some cost to that.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fair price.
Is that a motion?
I'll move on then.
I'll second.
Ron, you got it?
Oh, Ron got it. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
Do you have any direction as to
Two
where,
things.
where you want it paid from as opposed to the bond proceeds just out of the normal budget? Do you have any direction?
I would say discretionary. I don't really, I mean, that bond, we can probably get rid of it, just shut it down, just turn it off.
Yeah.
Cause I don't think we're gonna be into it anymore. The more it's,
And just run everything else through I think it's an easier accounting kind of thing
Yes.
for Nikki to.
And that would be a
Right.
normal maintenance
Yeah.
item, because it's gonna have salt added, so I assume you'll have a contract with.
Yes, we will have yeah, we'll just create that contract
Yeah,
with them.
I'd
and-
run that, I'd just run it through your normal budget.
Yeah.
Is the 60,000 enough? The
How much?
tank, the 60,000 tank?
Oh, yeah,
Big enough?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm saying some whole house systems are 48,
Okay.
60,000, so they're basically all they're compensating for is the boiler. That's,
Okay.
I mean, it's a good call.
so. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. Motion carries. And since our stellar crowd's out here, do we have any public comment? Okay.
Good thing somebody's stellar, right?
Mhm. Next meeting is September 14th, 2026, same place, same time.
Came back, Chip.
Motion to adjourn.
And we have,
Second.
second, third, and a fourth.
And a fifth.
Fifth.
I think I know
Yeah,
how this one's
adjourn.
gonna go.